children.
Go to war then. Go find a new friend.
If I'm stressed or I'm frustrated, then I understand that. And I agree that society puts me in as a man, you can tell me that there's no safety net. Females can wake up and say, I don't feel like it. The men who say, I can't feel like it, cannot compete with the men who do not say that. And it's player versus player. The men who go to the gym every single day, regardless of how he feels, will always beat the man who goes to the gym and feels like going to the gym. And it's player versus player. And you think, as much as you want to sit here and disagree with me, it's women who decide what the winner is. You would choose the man who can play tactics. You would choose the man with all his money.
I like the Jackson.
In general, we're talking in general. Females will choose the man who can protect the state. Females will choose the man who has money right. Females will choose the man who can fix any problem. Females will choose the man and you can go to him and say, can you fix this? And he says yes without any. That's who women want. Women decide who to win. Women don't want a man when you come to him with problems and he goes, I'm too stressed today. Tell me tomorrow. Women don't want that. Having your life over doesn't make you a dickhead.
You can have all those things, but then there's that fine line when your ego gets a bit too much. For example, like you could be very successful, you can have good-looking women that are attractive to you, you can just have those qualities, but then once you possess that, you then suddenly go past that line, your ego, and you start to think,
I agree with you. I'm not talking about that. I mean,
no, I agree with that. That's what I'm saying. Like to me, I agree with everything you're saying. But what I'm trying to argue is, men get successful, they become even more narcissistic, and they just, I'm not sure what to do.
You're very, very smart. You are. But you're doing what most people do. You're conflating. So when you conflate it, you mix two issues together.
No, I've just been asking you the question, and every time you give me a philosophy.
No, it's not a philosophy.
No, but I'm saying you're doing. When I'm asking you, I'm trying to get to know you on a level. How is a woman like this?
Beautiful, nice, civil, no animosity at all. You asked me about men's mental health. My answer was explaining that as a man, you don't have the luxury. Oops, I don't feel like it. You can do it.
You can. But sometimes I'm sorry, I know I keep telling you, but I'm just like, because this is the part that gets really frustrating to me. Like, men with this mindset that you had. Like, I get it. Okay, great. You are alpha. You can choose them. No, but I'm saying like, you successfully, it's great. But you are a problem. You're creating this pressure.
I'm not creating a problem.
Society. Like,
No, I'm not creating a problem.
You can actually. Successful men can actually like, oh, yeah, I love it today. Like, they actually can.
I understand.
Take a break and rest.
I understand. My point is that it's player versus player. You're a man who's going to constantly
She wouldn't understand a man. She just say another woman.
You're not going to be able to compete with men who don't.
Okay, but can we back say men that have
Completely. If you have mental health issues,
we can't validate men that have mental health issues.
absolutely.
Okay.
Men who have mental health issues, I wish them the best in the world. But when they come to me and
There's
say,
literal
like,
lesbians that have gone
Andrew, I
back
have
to
this
dating
problem,
men.
I'm depressed and I can't go to the gym. I say, no,
dating
I disagree. You're depressed because you go. You go to the gym, you might start to feel better, right? I'm saying you can't sit as a man and afford the luxury of saying, I have a mental health issue today, I'm sad today, I'm stressed today, I'm emotional today, I can't work. Because you will lose against the men who don't do that. And the male world is more competitive than you could possibly imagine. And it's the women who pick the winners. So I find it very interesting that a woman sits here to me and says, no, the men are allowed to sit around and do fuck all and feel sad. And those are the men they ignore when they DM. Those are the men they ignore them all.
So, for example, everything you said is presented with good point, right? That as a high-value woman, if I respect and love my partner, I'm not putting that pressure, I would say, you know what? But there are women that actually enable men to feel process that emotion.
Agreed.
But yeah,
What about
go
they,
back to smart okay. Let's go back to work.
They have the same
there are
things
good
that's
women out there that don't do that stuff. I feel like the reality of women is war. Because there are certain caliber of women.
I agree, you're right. But you're missing a very vital point of that story. You're right. But as a high-value woman, before you say to that man you can have a day off and you're allowed to be sad, you will only even get with him because you will only even acknowledge he exists if he's ignored how he feels 99% of the time before that. Because if he was sad most of the time before that, he never would have got to a place where he could attract a woman like you. The man who works in Starbucks, who's sad all the time, you won't reply to him. Neither will any other female. So for women to come along and pretend they give a about the fact that most men are basically invisible. There is not a female on the planet who's invisible today. You can be a 4 overweight, fat, you'll still go to the club and get attention. 99% of the men go to the club and nobody even can talk to them. And they try and talk to a girl, they get blanked and ignored and get told it. Most men are absolutely not really invisible. This is the truth about masculinity, right? It's very easy for women to sit here and complain about the top 2% of men, riding out with their little guys there and blah, 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 blah. Most men don't even exist. They send 10,000 DMs and never even get read, let alone replied to. So if you just sit here and say, I'll give G, a big G, a boss, a millionaire, and let him have a day off, very nice of you. I'm sure you would. But if you got a
He's the
guy who wants to have days off
scavenging
all the time, he never would have gotten bought enough in the first place to attract a woman like you. And that is the reality. As a man, it's player versus player. It's ultimately competitive. And as a man, you have to outcompete the other men who are prepared to get up and do it anyway. That's how it is. There's no such thing as saying, I'm sad and you can't. Not as a man, it's going to be. If it's a chick, you can always put more foundation on and be hard. Great. Not as a man. Really important as a man, you have children. You have duties. This is how it is. This is how it's always been.
Why are you wearing glasses?
Sunglasses.